Hey guys, this is Sharon. I'm here to talk about my favorite topic, muscle inhibition. But first, a quick review. What is muscle inhibition? So the muscle is made up of actin and myosin protein fibers. What connects those protein fibers to the central nervous system of the brain is called the spindle. Well, the spindle's in the red, muscle fibers in the blue. When the muscle lengthens and shortens, the spindle and the actin and myosin need to stay the same length. That way, the muscle's always connected to the brain. But what can happen is when a muscle shortens, the spindle, which are in the red, can go slack. This is a normal dysfunction of muscles. Again, when the muscle shortens, the spindle can slack. When you have slack spindle, that means the muscle's not connected to the brain, it can't contract. So here was a case of a teenage dancer who was referred to me with the diagnosis of a hamstring strain, and the doctor wanted hamstring stretching. So here what I'm demonstrating first is how I test for muscle activation and inhibition. I'm shortening the muscle. In this case, it was her right hip abductor. I added pressure and I asked her, can you hold? She could hold this pretty well. So here I'm going to do it again just to show you. So I'm saying here, hold this here, don't let me push. So left side, I shortening the hip abductors and asking her to hold it when I push. So now I'm going to test the hip flexors on the left. I'm shortening the hip flexors on the left and I'm saying, don't let me push, hold. Did you notice she couldn't hold that? It just was like, whoosh, just gave way. So on the right, same thing, hold this, hold, 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 hold. So she could hold that muscle right when I applied force. So now we're going into hip flexor, but with hamstring lengthening. This is the uninvolved side. So I tested hip flexors again with legs straight. Can you hold? Can you hold? Okay, so here's the left. Notice I'm looking at her and I'm like, that's about as far as it goes, right? She's like, yeah. So he'll hold it, hold it, hold it. Leg went down like a stone. So just to review, now I'm testing hamstring length. Remember, hamstrings can only lengthen if the hip flexors shorten. That is true muscle inhibition, or reciprocal inhibition, excuse me. So again, I lengthen the hamstrings on the right, I'm shortening the hip flexors, asking, can you hold that position in the hip flexors? Now the left. Notice she can't lengthen the hamstrings as far as the right side. And now I'm asking, can you hold the hip flexor? No, just boom, down like a stone. So that's true muscle reciprocal inhibition. If you can't shorten one side, you can't lengthen the other. That being said, what do? If you can't shorten on one side, it's because the muscle's inhibited. So what did we work on? We worked on activation to the hip flexors. And how we did it, that's a story for another day. This is just showing you shortening activation of the hip flexors. That's the change I got in one day. You tell me if hamstring stretching would have done anything.